All right. Good morning, everybody. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to episode 1624. The conversation today is about, do you know that you create your own addictions? Wait, what? Yeah, that's a question for you. Did you know you create your own addictions? Well, Sean, how do I do that? You do it very carefully. Why do you ask? What happens is that no thanks on that. And I think we're muted. And we are. So inside your brain, do you know that you can create dopamine? Do you know you can take drugs that help you access dopamine and serotonin and all of these different things? There's a set of chemicals that are called the Mystic Cocktail. If you listen to Mr. Dawson. And in this conversation that we're listening to in meditations, there's certain things that you can do to activate it. Right? How many of you are ticklish? How many of you are ticklish in certain spots? How many of you are ticklish in a spot that somebody else isn't? See, there's certain things in your body that you can activate, certain things that you activate in yourself that allows you to change your state. Dopamine, serotonin, all of these different things, all of these different cocktails that are part of the brain, that are produced in the brain, that create significant change and shift in the body. It would serve you well to understand that. And the reason I bring this up to you is that the way you wake up, you start producing in your pharmacy. This idea that you are letting your phone dictate to you, well, it's the addiction. What do you mean, Sean? Well, the reason that you grabbed the phone, and I was looking for my phone, but it's right there on Instagram. The reason that you're looking for your phone is so that you can validate your pain. Validate your joy, validate your average, validate, figure out, talk about, just bring to a certain level the way your day starts. Does that make sense? So my question to you is this: if you decide that today, right now, in this moment, you want to be happy, what's something you could do? Well, in a very simple format, in a very simple conversation, Tony Robbins talks about the pyramid, right? The triangle. If you draw a triangle on your page and at the bottom you put physiology. Joseph McClendon talks about it's this idea of magnetism. What you do, what you think about, you bring about. And when you start to move your body, you literally create a magnetic field around you. In creating this magnetic field, right, when you speed things up, when you make things move, it starts to access and put out a wave of energy. Imagine turning up the volume on a stereo, the volume on your car, the volume on your iPad, on the music, the little button on the side of your phone to increase the volume to listen to your music. Physiology is to start to do that. And as soon as you start the physiology, the body shifts its attention into looking at things saying, well, wait a minute, we must not be in trouble. We must not be in complete pain or hurting. That's shutting down the amygdala. It's accessing the hippocampus, the hypothalamus, the anterior cingulate cortex, understanding that these particular parts of the brain, right, when you start to activate them, when you start to move your body, when you make a decision, decide, cut off, incision, cut in, decision, cut off, when you decide this idea that you're going to change your state and you start to literally just move your body, just move your body right now. Move it a little bit. Some of you may access, you may push the I don't want to move my body. So the fact that you moved your body, move the needle. The question is which way are you moving the needle? Are you moving the needle towards more of what you want or less of what you don't? That's the question. Are you moving your needle towards more of what you want or less of what you don't? And that you have to decide. You have to make a decision. You have to pay attention to every slight move, the slightest move that you have, right? If you double a penny every day, who wants what comes at the end of 30 days? I'll give you a penny today or I'll give you $1 million. Which do you want, right? If you understood the math, if you understood how things work, if you understood accumulation, if you understood duplication, if I gave you a penny today or $1 million, which would you take? Some people would go $1 million, but if they know the formula, they'd say, give me a penny. Give me a penny and give it to me for 31 days, 31 days, 31 days, not just 30 days, 31 days, 32 days, and then I'm done. 32 days, I'm done. So you got to move things up. You got to get some things going. You got to get some things activated. The challenge is that we can bring the world onto our shoulders. so fast. We can bring the world onto our shoulders so fast. Drop a WS if you know the world can show up on your shoulders darn quick. And it comes from this idea, this place where you wake up and you wake up and what? You wake up to verify and validate that you are absolutely in pain and misery. Because when you wake up, the second you wake up, when you go out of the theta state and you start to come down into the alpha state, you start to come out of if you were really cool, the gamma state, you start to come down into the alpha and the beta state. You start to come into this awake mode. You're going to do everything to remember who you are. At what point do you know your name? At what point, think about this for just a second. See, this is the brain pharmacy at work. At what point do you know your name? If you don't know your name when you wake up, think about it. Do you really know your name? Until you start to know your surroundings. The quantum field, the quantum mechanics says nothing exists until it's measured. How much of your pain exists? How much of your pain existed when you were starting to wake up in that stretch? And then you felt the phone vibrate, right? How many of you feel the phone vibrate on your bed? Don't answer that because that's really bad. If you feel the phone vibrate on your bed, that means the phone was with you. That means that energetic field around the phone was never left your body, the electromagnetic energy. Anyways, that's a whole nother story. So my question to you is, how long is it before you know who you are? It's not the instant you wake up. How many of you have ever woken up in a hotel? How many of you have ever stayed over at a friend's house and you woke up and you're like, where am I? You didn't say, who am I? The first thing you asked is, where are you? Because that is a safety mechanism of the brain. Will this kill me, or how fast could I recognize the pattern? If you said, oh my God, where am I? You ever do that? Drop a W in the chat if you've ever woken up in a hotel or someplace and you went, where am I? You follow me on this? Isn't this making sense? If this is making sense, my daddy said make dollars. So now the question is where are you? Where are you? Where are you in this mystic place called your dreams? Where are you in this mystic place called your life? Where are you in this mystic place called your desire, your want, your wish, your definite major purpose, your definite chief aim, your driving force? Just making sense? So now the question becomes this. When is it time to make the shift? When is it time to become the brain pharmacist and produce the chemicals, write the pharmacy, write the prescription for your success? See, only you can write the prescription. When you ask somebody, hey, give me a script, you're asking somebody else to write your prescription. And when somebody says, so give me an algorithm. Give me an algorithm. You're asking somebody else to write your prescription. You are the brain pharmacist of your success. You are. And when you understand that, you'll start to work on this thing up here, this 3 pounds of gray matter called your brain. And you'll begin to understand that the only reason you're failing, the only reason you're falling short, the only reason that you're struggling is because you keep trying to upgrade the software on a hardware that can't run it. You're trying to run a software on an outdated hardware. You got to upgrade your brain. You got to get your brain healthy. How do you get your brain healthy? Through self-talk. How do you get your brain healthy? Through gratitude. How do you get your brain healthy? Through nutritionals. Are you taking a good omega 3 with a 600-400 DEA-EPA ratio? What is that? Well, then my guess is you got a clue. There's some work to do there. There's some work to do there. Do you realize your brain uses 20% of your body's calories? How much crap did you eat yesterday? Take 20% of that and put that in your brain. The most sophisticated, the most complex, the most unknown operating system in the known universe, your brain. And what did you feed it yesterday? What did you feed it? How many of you know blueberries are good antioxidants and good brain food? How many of you know good hydration, water is good for the brain? So you're too busy running around. Most people are too busy running around looking for the scripts, looking for the fertilizer to put it on a seed that's not really updated, a seed that's kind of old, this idea of your brain. So how do you become a good brain pharmacist? You got to understand how you operate, how you control, how you can enhance, how you can upgrade this hardware so that all of this software that's being presented to you can operate at another level. That's my conversation for you today. Figure out how to upgrade your hardware through nutrition, through hydration, through exercise. There's a lot of things coming. MCI, mild cognitive impairment. If you walk into rooms and forget where you're going, forget why you got here. If you have things where all of a sudden the idea simply goes away, you've got to do some things to upgrade your brain. You may want to check out ketones. Ketones are a powerful fuel, especially if you're over 50. If you're over 50, the body stops using, the brain stops using glucose as its primary fuel. It kind of cuts down on it. It doesn't really work so well. And depending upon the quality of the glucose that you have, sugar isn't just sugar, right? That's why you have these highs and these lows and these highs and these lows with these energy drinks, because sugar isn't always, all sugars are not the glucose the brain uses. I can force the brain into a higher state of activity by giving it some things masked as glucose. So anyways, long story short, if you want to become the true brain pharmacist and write yourself a prescription for your success, check out SeanGMurphy.com, get on the email list, and you may want to pay attention and hear some of the things I've got to share with you. I love you tons. I appreciate you. If you want to learn, if you want to go in to have a conversation with us in the VIP group right now, because I'm going to end here on Instagram, you can go over to sgm.obv.io and set up your free account to join us in a conversation that's normally for the VIP session, but I'm going to allow you to come in to be able to see, ask, and understand more about the desires and the wants and the wishes of how your brain is wanting you to have more. Because the brain looks for two things: will this kill me, or how fast could I recognize the pattern? And if you think about and bring about and think about your desire big enough, your definite major purpose, your brain shifts and upgrades to your highest level of possibility. I'm your head brain training, brain scrambling, neuro encoding misfit. I'll see y'all where? I'll see you at the next event. Till then, bye for now. And there, and YouTube, I love you bunches. I appreciate you. I hope you have an incredible, super fantastic, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious day. I'll see you where? I'll see you at the next event.